Hello everyone, welcome to Physics 101. I am Dr. Rogers, and this is a walkthrough of my Canvas class, how to find things, how to navigate, and how to turn things in. Alright, so when you sign in, this is what you're going to see. Just note that this is a fully online 8-week class. The last day of class is October 12th. It is fully online lecture, fully online lab. We have some quick links here. This will take you to a blurb that is about me, and it will say, hey, this is my email address. And by the way, email is the best way to get in touch with me. The other tab is for course materials, and this more or less has the textbook, a link on Amazon, and the LCC bookstore. You can get by with a previous edition of the textbook and save buku dollars. Very important that you can see these. These are my lectures. I had one student once that couldn't see them, and I was just able to email them all to him. So make sure you can see these guys. Alright, let's go ahead and click on one of these guys. So Chapter 1. If I go to Chapter 1, I've split my lecture into two 15-minute or so lectures to make it a little bit more digestible. I don't know about you all, but about 10-15 minutes is my limit on watching YouTube videos. So here's me talking over my slides. And I recommend that you change the playback speed to maybe 2x or something like that, and that way you can get through it a little bit faster, but pause it and take notes. You really take things home when you write things down. So there's the first part of the lecture. There's the second part, and if you want the lecture slides, then the lecture slides are just down here, so you can print these things out and you can kind of scribble all over them. Again, please do take notes. So let's go back to the main page. That's pretty much all there is to it. Here we have some to-do things. You can kind of see those guys pop up on the side. I personally prefer to use the Syllabus tab. The Syllabus tab kind of lays things out nice and pretty for you. So you can kind of see we have a syllabus quiz due on about 2 days in, just to kind of say, hey, I've signed into your Canvas class and I'm here. And then we have this due date with all of this stuff due, this due date, and this due date, and so on and so forth. So it kind of chunks things up for you nice and pretty. Now let's go ahead and pop open the syllabus here. Oops, I was already in there, so there we go. This is a standard VCCS description that says, hey, we're going to do mechanics in Physics 1, we're going to do electricity and magnetism in Physics 2, and this is introduction, or this is conceptual physics, so there's a little bit of math, but it's not like a algebra-based or calculus-based physics class. So with that said, best way to get in touch with me is, again, to shoot me an email. And what we can do then is we can then set up a Zoom meet if you want. We can correspond via email. We can figure something out. Teaching methods, again, fully online lecture and online lab. I have voice over PowerPoint methods for all these guys. Here's the textbook again, fully online. For the labs, there are about 27 labs on there. Are in this class. 25 out of 27 of these guys are pure simulations. 2 of them, and actually the first 2, require you to have like a stopwatch, or aka a cell phone, and a way to measure things. So don't dive into those first 2 labs and think, oh my goodness, I need to have all this stuff. No, 25 of these labs are simulations. I will note that the labs that are Java simulations, I've tried to use as few of those as possible, but there are 1 or 2. The Java simulations will not work on a Mac. I know that. I have recorded those myself doing those simulations, so you can actually just watch a YouTube video and you should be able to do the lab. If you find a lab that you're not able to get to run, that I don't have a full walkthrough of it, then send me an email and we will make things work. I do let you submit 2 attempts for the labs, because when we're face-to-face, what I generally do is I go around to group number 1, I say, hey, any questions? I go to group number 2, hey, any questions? And I can get you on the right track. What I do for these labs is I let you submit it twice, as long as you submit it within 48 hours of the deadline. So that way it gives me a little bit of time to get them back to you. If you submit it within that 48-hour window, I might be able to get to it, I might not. It depends on how quick things are coming in and what I have going on. Alright, homework. Each chapter has about 10 questions. They're all multiple choice, and it will take 2 attempts, and it'll tell you which ones you got wrong. If you still can't figure out where the bad thing happened, please do shoot me an email. I know this is an online class, but I do want to talk to you. I do want to iterate with you. We can email back and forth. We can set up a Zoom meet. There's no reason why you can't get 100% on the homework, or the labs for that matter. Some labs are easier than other labs. I know which ones are the trouble ones. Quizzes, we got 5 quizzes through the semester. They're not designed to beat you up. They're designed to say, hey, dude, you got a test coming up. Better get with it. They're about 5 questions, and they have a 15-minute time limit. As with the homeworks, they are multiple choice, but the quizzes and the tests only have 1 submission. The homework has 2. There are 4 tests scattered throughout the semester, about 35-ish questions with a time limit of 50 minutes. I won't accept them after the due date because, well, it kind of shows you the right answers. The same is true for the quizzes and the homework. After the due date, it shows you what the right answers are, so yeah, I can't accept anything late. Here's the breakdown of points. Standard A, B, C, D apply. When it comes to academic honesty, don't cheat. If you have a disability form, then you know what it means. Get it to me as soon as possible, and we will make things work for you. Okay, when it comes to the schedule, kind of what I did was I have more or less 4 big due dates. I've kind of lumped together all the materials for test number 1 and test number 2 and said that's due on September 11th, and then test number 1 and test number 2 are due on September 18th. All the material for tests 3 and 4 are due on October 2nd, and then tests 3 and 4 are due a week later. Now, this gives you quite a bit of freedom, but it could potentially set you up to the point where you're in a bad place. And what I mean by that is don't wait until September 10th to try to knock out all these labs. That would be a very poor decision. The same is true for the tests. Don't wait until September 18th at 10 p.m. to take these tests. That would be bad time management on your part. Class starts on August 24th, so try to chip away at this. Say, all right, on this week I'm going to knock out chapters 1, 2, and 3, and then next week I'm going to knock out chapters 3 and 4, and take the tests, in between there. Don't wait until the due date. So, with that said, I think I want to go back to the syllabus tab. So what we can do is let's take a quick look at what the homeworks look like. So I'm going to pop open homework for Chapter 1. Chapter 1 only has 5 questions. It's relatively easy. You can see that there are 2 attempts right there. And what you can do is you can select, I'm just going to randomly select a couple of things here. And we can hit Submit. And it says, hey, you didn't answer 2 of these. I'm just going to say, okay. And then what I can do is I can say, hey, look, I got a 2 out of 5 on that on there, and it's showing me that, hey, I got this one incorrect, I got that one correct, and I got that one correct. So randomly guessing, well, that was a good thing. So now I can take this quiz again, and I can try to do better. So what we can do is we can then go ahead and take a look at a lab and how you submit labs. Well, first of all, I'll say that quizzes and tests work more or less the same way as homework. It's going to be multiple choice, but it's not going to give you a second attempt. So for the lab, let's go ahead and click on this guy right here. For this lab, all you need is some pennies. I do have an introduction for the lab where I say, okay, this is what this lab is all about. This is some things you want to look out for, and this is more or less how you go about this lab. So I do have that for you. For the lab itself, you can work on either the document or the PDF, totally up to you. I'll just go ahead and click on this guy. You can print this thing out and you can write on it and take some pictures. I will ask that if you do that, if it's a multiple page lab, as this one is, that please do use a picture to PDF thing and make sure that it's in good lighting and stuff like that. Just submit one PDF. It makes my life so much easier. If you want to write on it with a tablet or something like that, like I have an iPad, that is another spectacular way to write on these things. If you choose to go the route where you're actually putting in text just like this, please do me a favor and just put some yellow behind it or change the color of it. Don't make it obnoxious, like don't make it like dark blue or something like that. I had someone do that once and that was rather irritating. But yeah, please do give me some sort of indicator that you actually changed the color there. With that said, once you have gone ahead and filled out the lab, one thing I will note is if it says write down, I'm looking for text on the page. If it says explain, I'm looking for text on the page. If you see a big long opening like this, there's a really good chance you should be putting some stuff in there. If it says show your work, please do show your work. For this guy right here, it says describe. I'm looking for more than just like 1 or 2 words. Once you've gone ahead and done this to the best of your ability, then you can go ahead and right here you see the Submit Assignment button. And what we can do is we can do a file upload, or you can submit it any of these ways. I'm just going to go ahead and choose this file. I know that this is blank, but I'm going to go ahead and submit this thing right as such. And we should see like some confetti coming down that says, hey, you actually were able to submit this. At this point, on my end, as on the teacher's end of things, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make sure that you filled everything out correctly. If you made a mistake, not a big deal. I'm going to circle some things and say, hey, fix this, fix this, fix this. Here's a hint on this one right here. And then you can go ahead and you can click on Submission Details. You should be able to see my scribbles on what you submitted, which is conveniently not showing up right now, but you should be able to see my scribbles, and you should be able to go back and fix some things, and then you can go ahead and you can resubmit this thing. There's no reason why you can't get a 10 out of 10 on every single lab as well as every single homework. Alright, with that said, I'm going to pop back to the syllabus tab really quickly. And now I'm going to scroll down until I see the tests. For every test, I have a sample test. The test and the sample test both have a time limit. The test can only be submitted once. The sample test can be taken as many times as you want. I kind of make them side by side. You see 33 questions here. There's a really good chance you're going to see, in the ballpark with 33 questions on the real test. If you see a question on the scientific method on the sample test, there's a really good chance you're going to see a question on the scientific method. Maybe to be a different step of the scientific method, but you will definitely see a scientific method question. Here we have a cart where you're actually doing a number calculation and you're calculating acceleration. There's a really good chance that you're going to see a similar problem with different numbers, or maybe asking for something slightly different, but you're going to see a problem very similar on the real test. So you can go ahead and you can take this as many times as you want, and then you can go ahead and hit submit, and it'll actually show you the correct answers. So here we have it where it said, okay, you didn't get this one correct, you didn't get this one correct, and now you can go ahead and you can take this again if you want. You can take it as many times as you want. It's not going to count for or against your grade in any way, and I'm not going to look at it and be like, wow, Joe Schmo took that 10 times. Whoa, what's wrong with him? I don't look at the sample tests. We can also set up a Zoom session if you ever want to chat. And with that said, I think I've explained everything that I want to. If something is not clear, please do shoot me an email. I do want to hear from you. I look forward to seeing you in Physics 101. Take care. Bye.